Hey everyone, hello. So, there is an ancient formula etched in the bones of Western esotericism, two Latin words that quietly govern transformation, revolution, and rebirth. Solve et coagula. Dissolve and recombine. This is not just an alchemical instruction, it is a law of reality itself. From the collapse of empires to personal awakenings, from chemical reactions to spiritual initiations, Solve et Coagula describes the hidden process by which all true change occurs. Tonight, we're going to unpack this maxim, its alchemical roots, its psychological power, its symbolic expression on the arms of Baphomet, and why destruction is not the enemy of creation, but its necessary precursor. In classical alchemy, Solve et Coagula describes a two-phase operation. Solve means to dissolve, break apart, separate, or reduce. Coagula means to recombine, solidify, integrate, or perfect. The alchemist begins by dissolving a substance, breaking it down into its essential components, stripping away impurities, false forms, and inert matter. This stage is often chaotic, unstable, and destructive. But dissolution alone is not the goal. After separation comes coagulation, the careful recombination of those purified elements into a higher, more refined state. Something new is born, not by adding external material, but by reordering what already existed. This is the journey from chaos to order, multiplicity to unity, lead to gold, and symbolically from ignorance to illumination. One of the most misunderstood aspects of Solve et Coagula is its relationship with destruction. Modern culture often treats destruction as inherently negative, something to avoid at all costs. But alchemy disagrees. In the alchemical worldview, nothing new can emerge unless the old form dies. Structures that are rigid, stagnant, or false must be broken apart. This applies not just to matter, but to belief systems, identities, emotional patterns, and social structures. What is dissolved was not evil. It was simply no longer capable of growth. Alchemy teaches that creation without destruction is superficial, and destruction without recombination is nihilism. True transformation requires both. When applied to the human psyche, Solve et Coagula becomes a powerful map for personal transformation. Solve, the dissolution of the ego, this phase involves breaking down false identities, conditioned beliefs, social masks, and trauma-driven behaviors. It often feels like confusion, loss of meaning, emotional upheaval, or a dark night of the soul. This is why authentic transformation is uncomfortable. The ego resists disillusion because it equates stability with survival. Coagula the reassembly of the self. Once the old structures are dissolved, the individual can consciously recombine their inner elements, values chosen instead of inherited, identity grounded in awareness rather than fear, and integration of shadow and light. The result is not a perfect person, but a coherent and conscious one, someone who knows what they are made of. Solve et Coagula is not a one-time event, it is cyclical. We see it everywhere. Cells die, so new cells can form. Forest fires clear space for new growth. Civilizations collapse and reassemble. Ideas are deconstructed and synthesized into new philosophies. Alchemy reflects the truth that stasis is death and change is the pulse of life. Every coagulation will eventually require a new dissolution. Evolution depends on it. One of the most famous visual representations of Solve et Coagula appears on the arms of Baphomet, as depicted by the 19th century occultist Eliphas Levi. On one arm is inscribed Solve, and on the other, Coagula. This is not a symbol of chaos or evil, as popular culture often claims. It's a glyph of balance. Baphomet represents the reconciliation of opposites, male and female, light and dark, spiritual and material, as above, so below. The raised hand pointing upward combines coagulation, integration, unity, and ascent. And the lowered hand positioning downward embodies dissolution, descent, breakdown, return to raw substance. Together, they declare nothing is transformed unless it is first broken apart. Baphomet is not destruction for destruction's sake. It is intelligent transformation. This principle appears far beyond alchemy. Artists destroy old forms, techniques, or even their own work to birth new styles. Innovation requires dismantling tradition. Complex ideas are broken down into core principles, then synthesized into deeper understanding. Therapy often involves dismantling maladaptive narratives before rebuilding healthier ones. Hypotheses are dissolved under scrutiny and reassembled into stronger theories. Even revolutions, personal or societal, follow this formula. We live in a time obsessed with surface-level creation, new identities, new traditions, new technologies, without true dissolution. But unresolved structures always collapse eventually. Solve et Coagula reminds us that growth is not always gentle. Stability can be a disguise for stagnation. Breakdown can be initiation. If something in your life is falling apart, it may not be failure. It may be the solve phase of the deeper transformation. The question is not whether dissolution will occur, but whether you will consciously participate in the coagulation that follows. Solve et Coagula is the hidden rhythm of becoming, dissolving what no longer serves, extract what is essential, recombine with intention. That is alchemy. That is transformation. That is the work. All right, everyone. Well, that's it for today's video. As always, I hope you found it entertaining, enlightening, or in some way beneficial. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with a friend or two. All right, everyone, take care. Peace.